Okay, let's move from Delhi to the other big emergency, and it's an immediate emergency there as well because Chennai continues, despite rains having all but stopped, to function under the aftermath of the terrible flooding. While flood waters are receding, Lakhs still continue to battle lack of supply of essentials. This includes water, power, milk and food items. The city also struck by tragedy when a renowned super specialty hospital reported 18 deaths, the victims reportedly losing their lives when a sudden blackout on Wednesday caused a snapping of oxygen supply in the ICU. The government has ordered a probe. The Chennai airport, meanwhile, will resume partial operations from tomorrow.
There is no respite for Chennai as fresh rains continues to lash the city for the fourth consecutive week. The Met Department has forecast that there will be rains for the next 24 hours, and as most of the roads are still blocked, these fresh rains are expected to disrupt the normal life. We are standing right at Velacheri main road. This particular road connects to Tambram Highway, and the opposite road connects to the airport, and this is one of the main locations as there are several IT companies on this particular road, several people are taking shelter under the bridge as the water levels have not receded in many parts of Velacheri. Remember, Velacheri was one of the worst affected areas when it rained last time during the depression over the southwest Bay of Bengal. But this time as well, Velacheri seemed to be one of the worst affected areas in the city. With camera person Daniel Srisha Reddy in Velacheri for India Today.
Chennai lashed out with these rains, collapsing. And we are talking of Adyar River, Chembarambakam and other such areas. But what about Chennai's KK Nagar West? Let me actually introduce you to some of KK Nagar's brave hearts who actually took the initiative of helping one another, taking them on stretchers. Pregnant women who were brought to a safer zone. And now their main complaint is there's absolutely no food. They're helping each other out, yes, but why did not any corporation nor a government official come and help in this very place? We are talking of water that's been stagnated. Water being pumped out in different places, but why not KK Nagar West? Is that the question? What is your question to the administration?
We ourselves helping us from the ground floor who are staying, we are shifting them to the second floor and third floor who are having food and water. We are just giving whatever we are having. We need help actually. Please help us.
I want to go straight across for the very latest. T.S. Sudhir, our correspondent, is joining us, our editor South, joining us from Tenapet, and he's been tracking this story manfully over the last few days. Pratibha is also live, and she also joins us from another part of the city. I appreciate both of you joining us. We're going to try what we did yesterday again, trying to connect the people who still have several concerns in Chennai to their relatives across this country and try and get a sense of what's happening. T.S. Sudhir, you're still wearing the raincoat, I see, which means, and the troubling news for me there is that it's still raining in Chennai.
Absolutely. It has been raining non-stop virtually since 3 p.m. Rajdeep in most parts of the city, and the darkness behind me is an indication that Chennai virtually has slipped into the dark ages. No power in most of the areas, and this I am standing in a commercial area. Pitch darkness in the offices here, the street lights aren't working and the shops don't have any electricity. So Chennai in most parts is completely pitch dark, and that's going to be a rather major difficulty for the Chennai administration to ensure that they restore the power, at least taking into account the safety measures. But given the fact that it has started raining heavily in most parts of Chennai since late afternoon, that will make it very difficult, and they would hope and pray that it doesn't rain tonight, because if it rains, the entire exercise will have to start from scratch. They start from zero all over again tomorrow morning, because the water levels, especially in those low-lying areas like Kuturpuram, Velacheri, KK Nagar, would rise again. Rainwater which would be mixed with the sewage water, making matters very difficult for the residents here.
And what you're saying is, as you're saying, it's pitch dark behind you, so there's still no power, there's still no communication, which is why we are trying to use this opportunity to try and get the administration in Chennai to connect to our viewers. Remember, we have been assured by the commissioner that his office is monitoring this program, so any concerns that you have are being written down by the commissioner's office there in Chennai. I have a viewer, Ms. Chaudhary, you're joining me from Goa. What's your question? What is your concern at the moment?
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Chaudhary, what is your concern, sir?
Yes, Mr. Rajdeep, I come from your home state, that is Goa.
Yes.
My in-laws are in Porur, and there's been no communication for the last 3 days. While I'll give you the specifications of the problem which we are facing, on a generalized scale, I think you guys are doing a great job to mitigate the problems. But I heard the commentary yesterday also with Mr. Kapoor. But the issue is that I don't think the state government is doing enough. The army seems to be bailing out people, which is the general commentary you get everywhere. I would request you to put out a SMS, a mobile number in which we can send you SMSs, and then you can give the verbatim SMSs to the government authorities, and they can give you a feedback, and we can get a feedback.
So you're saying that use us as a conduit, that we in the channel should be used as a conduit, take your SMSs or your concerns and put them to the administration. Have you been trying the 1913 number at the administration? Are you being able to get through with that number at all?
No, that's right. Rajdeep, yesterday, hello, Mr. Rajdeep. Yesterday, when you were talking to Mr. Kapoor, the commissioner,
yes,
I thought he was very helpful, but he kept on mentioning call up 1913,
yes,
and there were so many other citizens who kept telling you on the TV also 1913. Nobody responds. We tried it ourselves. It's just like talking to the black hole.
Okay, so you're saying we will try and do that, an SMS alert system to the authorities. Remember, we are trying to also communicate to them directly in this program. We are trying to ensure that Mr. Kapoor and his office there in Chennai are taking down all the details we have been getting. I have another caller, Sushma, joining us. Where are you speaking from, ma'am, and what is your concern that you would like to address to the administration there in Chennai?
Sir, I'm calling from Guntur, Andhra Pradesh.
Yes.
One of my cousins got stuck in Porur from past 4 days. We don't have any of her contacts, and we're getting so many numbers saying that army rescue teams and all, and we are not able to connect to, not even one number is getting connected. Luckily, this is the first call we got connected.
Okay, and who have you been thereby, has your problem been resolved? What is your concern at the moment?
We don't know any whereabouts of our cousin, and it's been 4 days that we know anything about her. So we are little tense. And the parents are very much worried about.
Can you give me the exact location, ma'am, of your relative, so that location can be picked up by the commissioner's office, which, as I said, has promised that they are listening to this program and taking down the details. What is the exact location?
It's number 32.
Yes.
Ganapati Nagar.
Number 32, Ganapati Nagar.
Near Rajalakshmi Kalyana Mandapam.
Yes, go ahead.
Opposite to Naidu Hall, Porur.
Porur. Okay, opposite to Naidu Hall, Porur. Okay. And you're saying that you haven't been able to establish communication as yet, and that you're worried that no one has come there to rescue them. Am I correct?
Yes. We don't even know whether she had her food and water from past 4 days. No information at all about her.
Okay.
4 days it's been.
Okay, it's been 4 days. You had absolutely no communication. Communication remains still the big concern for the people of Chennai, communication and power. Sridevi joining us, ma'am. Where are you speaking from and what is your concern?
Mr. Rajdeep, I'm calling from Bangalore.
Yes.
I have no whereabouts about a relative in KK Nagar.
Give me the exact address, ma'am. I want to...
Yes.
Yeah. What is the exact address? Sorry, just a minute. Yes, give it again, ma'am.
20/657.
Yes, 21657.
9th sector.
Yes, 9th sector.
48th Street.
48th Street.
KK Nagar, Chennai 78.
KK Nagar, Chennai 78.
Near Padma Seshadri School.
Near Padma Seshadri School, and again you've had no contact with your relatives there for how many days now?
No, for the past 3 days.
Okay, have you tried to drive down maybe from Bangalore? Is that an option that you've considered?
Pardon, sir?
Have you thought of driving down from Bangalore to reach Chennai and maybe try and establish contact?
No way, because I have my relative's sister here who's very aged. I can't.
I can understand that. T.S. Sudhir, you have been in touch with the commissioner. We're trying again to ensure that he's listening to all of this. I just want to get a sense. All these people are saying that they have not been able to establish communication for at least 72 hours, some 96 hours. What effort has actually been made to restore the communication system, whether it is private operators or whether it is the government?
Well, very little, and I would make a comparison with what happened during Cyclone Hudhud in Visakhapatnam, where the mobile companies, the mobile towers had completely crashed, and it was very difficult to get through to anyone in Visakhapatnam. Here, the situation is not of the same scale, yet the communication seems to have been a major casualty, with the mobile companies or the BSNL, MTNL not really making an effort to actually ensure that the landlines are working and the mobile phone connectivity is better. Yes, there is a problem with the power cuts, as a result of which most of the mobile phones are not getting charged, so people are also not able to get through to the relatives and friends on their mobile phones. But the landline should have been, at least it should have been ensured that they are working. That hasn't really happened, and that seems to indicate a bit of a lackadaisical attitude as far as attending to this part of the connectivity issue, as far as solving this problem, a crisis in Chennai is concerned, Rasdeep.
I'm just also getting in for a moment Pratibha, who's also joining us. Pratibha, you've been talking to citizens, you're with them. What is their primary concern at the moment? Is it simply this lack of communication which is leading to, and the fact that in many cases the water level hasn't still receded? What is it that is really the biggest concern there where you are at the moment?
Well, in fact, there are two main concerns here, Rajdeep. We are standing in T Nagar, which is one of the shopping hubs, and the water levels do not seem to be receding. When you know that the rains have again started out again, it causes a lot more panic. People are telling us that the water that has remained stagnant there for days together has still not been pumped out. Many areas here in Chennai where the rescue operations have not really been fully completed. Now, this rain that has started again from today has only raised their panic levels, and that is one of their main concerns. And the second aspect is that it's not about food packets that are being delivered, it's more about their day-to-day needs, be it medicines or be it soaps, be it detergents, be it towels. These are some of the main emergencies that resources that needs to really be looked into, where they could be supplied with some of these materials so that they could have a way forward tomorrow. With milk packets where the prices are skyrocketing, people are really not able to even wade through the water and get to a supermarket. This supermarket remains closed. So these are some of the problems that really need to be addressed at this point in time.
Okay. So it is actually a problem that is existing, as both of you are pointing out, at various levels. We're going to take more of your calls, more of your messages. We're also going to go to the Apollo Hospital authorities, because they've been promising that they will give free medical treatment to those who come to them in Chennai. So we're going to tell you how that can be done. Our entire aim is to simply connect people to the authorities. That's all we want to do at the moment, because Chennai's crisis is by far the most serious crisis that we've seen affecting an urban city since the 2005 Mumbai cloudburst. We're back with plenty more on our special coverage. We are connecting India, whether it is choking Delhi or whether it is sinking Chennai. This is your place where we are going to raise public issues on a consistent basis. It's been a gap in our news coverage across channels in the past. We want to overcome that gap. The time has come to wake up. Our continuous effort here on India Today TV is how do you connect people to the administration, and the administration has been very kind to respond to all your queries. Mr. Radhakrishnan, Health Secretary, is joining us. Mr. Radhakrishnan, our correspondents are saying one of the concerns is medical supplies are in a situation where a number of people are complaining of a shortage of medical supplies. What would you like to tell our correspondent who just expressed that concern of citizens where she is?
Okay, there are two issues, we have major government hospitals where the medicines are supplied free. So that is open for everybody. In case, and again, I can vouch for sure that, 3.5 months stock or pipeline supply is there with our warehouses. In case the correspondent specifically says about any particular case, like yesterday there was a case where a dialysis patient going to a separate hospital was not able to come out. Those such cases also we are ready to take on in our government hospitals.
Sir, but you know what happened in a super specialty hospital? 18 people, according to police, died because of what? Because of power shortages, and their oxygen cylinders at the end of the day collapsed on them.
See, let me give you a correct picture. Is that there is a private 1,000-bedded hospital where there were 575 patients. There the power was put off on account of inundation. It was not that power had totally gone or this thing. Second is there are normal procedures. You should have a generator backup, and unfortunately, you could put in a mobile generator. Their request was for regular oxygen supply, which we had provided from government hospital.
Have all hospitals been provided that supply now? Have all hospitals now got 24-hour supply of power?
Let me clarify. All the hospitals have got streamlined oxygen supply, and we also have backup oxygen tankers kept in Keelport Medical College for any hospital to take, private sector or the government sector.
Okay, I've got a question, and it's coming from again my home state of Goa. Who is the person, sir? Madam, sir, would you like to ask your question?
This is Devi from Goa, Mr. Rajdeep. Good evening to you.
Good evening. Good evening.
My parents live in Chennai. I've been trying to get in touch with them for the past 4 days. I have no news, and they are living alone by themselves in Porur on Mount Punamalli High Road.
Yes.
Near SNS Power, and there is no. I'm trying to contact the neighbors, the shops close by. Nowhere. It's in Acme Park, Mugaliwakam, on Mount Punamalli High Road. I do not know how I will get any news about them.
Mr. Radhakrishnan, can help me? Mr. Radhakrishnan, can you help Devi and others? How do they get in touch with their loved ones? It's 72 hours, no communication. How do they contact? Can you?
Particularly that stretch, first that stretch is now motorable because even the Miyot Hospital and these hospitals are in that mount area also, and up to Porur, Punamalli, at present it is motorable. And I will pass on this message on to our local bodies and ensure that people go there.
Sir,
but the problem,
one problem is your 1913. Sorry to interrupt. Your 1913 number is not working, sir. The commissioner gave us this number. When people are ringing up this number, either they do not connect, no one picks up. People have.
Actually, it must be because we handle in health. There are two helplines called as 108 and 104. 108, the issue has been that despite the call center raising the staff, we get roughly around 22,000 calls. Earlier it used to be around 16,000 calls a day. So there is a waiting period. But anyway, I'll convey this issue to the corporation also.
Thank you. I also want to bring in the NDRF chief, Mr. O.P. Singh. Information, sir, about the rescue now. Yesterday you told us about 5,000 people had been rescued in and around Chennai. Can you give us an entire picture now of Tamil Nadu and Chennai? How many people have been rescued and how many still remain to be evacuated, sir? Mr. Singh? Mr. Singh, can you hear me? Okay, we are going to try and get through to Mr. Singh, but I'm joined by another of our callers. Go ahead, sir.
I am Haran from Bangalore.
Yes, ma'am.
My parents are at Valsaravakam. His address is 23, plot number 23, flat number B2, Jayanagar, Valsaravakam.
Okay. Because I can tell you that the commissioner's office is taking down all these details. Please say it again, ma'am.
Plot number 23, flat number B2.
Right.
Jayanagar. Valsaravakam, Chennai 87.
Okay. And you have not been able to establish contact with them for the last 72 hours?
72 hours, yes.
For the last 72 hours you have not been able to establish. Is Mr. Radhakrishnan still with us?
Hello.
Mr. Radhakrishnan,
yes, I am still with you.
Yes, 72 hours. How are these people? People are desperate to at least hear the voices of their relatives. I know it's a difficult situation, sir. But what is the solution, Mr. Radhakrishnan, to overcome this communication gap?
Okay. See, at this particular area, I had gone to another one. There are spots where these cell towers are not working. Valsaravakam may also be one of that spots. Ideally, I'll convey this message to corporation and probably the nearest, the other practical solutions. Certain people who are doing well, they are going to the nearby SSD booth and ringing up. But we will convey this corporation and send somebody to convey this message, which the lady from Bangalore just conveyed.
Sir, do you have any solution to this 1913 problem? Because as you say, there's a deluge of calls there. Can you not work that out at least with the central government, with the communication department, to in some way enhance the number of lines that people can have in an emergency like this?
I see 1913 is the line run by corporation. I'll definitely convey it to corporation commissioner. In an emergency, they can also contact 108, which has also a sufficiently, roughly we get around 90 calls in 15 minutes. So that we should be able to at least convey it to other agencies. We pass on the information not related to an ambulance requirement to the other agencies.
Okay.
In this time of emergency, that number also can be utilized.
Okay, T.S. Sudhir, you're still with us. T.S., you're hearing what the health secretary is saying. What troubled me is that particular instance where 18 people have reportedly died because the power, in a sense, was either cut off or there was because of the crisis in a super specialty hospital in Chennai. Is power, what is the problem at the moment with regard to power? It's not a shortage of power, but the fear presumably is of people getting electrocuted. Is that it?
Yes, that's a major concern in many areas, since there is water still there in many of the low-lying areas. They obviously do not want to take a chance with switching on the power and cases of electrocution. Apart from that, in areas like Kuturpuram, where I was there in the afternoon, I saw many of those electric poles had actually fallen because of heavy rain and water gushing past. So that's another concern. So the electricity department will really have to kind of take care of putting all that infrastructure in place. But again, I make a comparison to Cyclone Hudhud in Visakhapatnam. At that time, I remember Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu had read out the Riot Act to the mobile companies, because you cannot treat mobile connectivity as a privilege any longer, because just about everyone owns a mobile phone. So in that sense, if any tragedy, any calamity of this happens, you need to get the mobile connectivity, the mobile towers up and running at the earliest. You cannot complain that you do not have diesel to run the mobile tower gensets, etc. So you need to have that infrastructure in place. And Visakhapatnam Cyclone Hudhud was a wake-up call. Right. Nothing seems to have been learnt more than a year later here in Chennai.
Well, clearly Mr. Chandrababu Naidu could then give a few lessons there to Ms. Jayalalitha. I've got another caller from Bangalore. That's the city which is where a lot of people have relatives who are in Chennai and who are very worried. Ma'am or sir, who are you and what is your concern, sir?
This is Satish here from Chennai.
Just heard, Rajdeep, that there is a shortage of oxygen supply.
Yes.
So if anyone needs it, they can be in touch with us. We can support them actually.
So where is this? You're speaking from Bangalore or Chennai, sir?
I'm speaking from Bangalore, but we can support in Chennai actually.
So you can support Chennai. You're saying you can support any hospital which needs extra oxygen. Am I correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay, that's very reassuring, sir, to hear, and there are lots of stories of people trying to help each other out. I have another caller. Go ahead. Satish, go ahead.
Yeah, Rajiv, Satish here.
Yes, Satish.
My sister who is living in Perungudi, Vokkiyam Thuraipakam.
Okay.
This is at IT Park, that area. We are trying to reach her past 3-4 days, but we couldn't be able to connect actually. And also we have tried that helpline number and the NDRF number, everyone, but they are not at all given any proper response so far actually.
Mr. Radhakrishnan, I'm sorry to say this today that, I know that you are going through a very difficult time, but, this communication problem, and T.S. Sudhir put it brilliantly, that this is not a privilege anymore. To have proper communication is seen as a necessity, particularly in an emergency like this. Now, 3 days into it, one would have thought the center and the state would have got their act together.
Okay, this Rajiv, I take your point. I'll just let me put the record straight as far as Nyat incident is concerned. There was no power shortage. This is a very low-lying area in front, just adjacent to a river. So there is a proper procedure on such issues. We have a generator backup. If the generator backup goes, there is another issue. There is so it's not correct to say that oxygen was not there. Oxygen has been, enough supplies of oxygen are available.
So you don't need more, you're saying you don't need more supply of oxygen. I think
that's not the
issue.
That, backup mobile generator the hospital did not have. And in fact, there is another major private hospital which needed that, and they had informed that requirement, and it was actually put in play, that was sent to that place. So this is being addressed. This is a very unfortunate sort of deaths over a period of 2 days. There again, people have been evacuated. Out of 575, except for this unfortunate death, the remaining people have been evacuated.
No, I
is
take
one
that,
point.
sir, but the water logging, as you know, is still there and people still are living in very difficult conditions. I appreciate that it's not easy. I'm not going to say any of this is easy at the moment, but clearly there is an anger and anguish which is being caused by the fact that we are in today's 21st century India, in the so-called digital age. There is a serious problem when an emergency like this strikes, that we are not able to use mobile phones to connect people. We are struggling to get through to the administration, even from here in Delhi, and in different parts of the country, people are struggling to get through to their relatives. I think that is the real concern that people have at the moment. How do we get in touch with our relatives? I just want to go to our correspondent Rohini, because amidst all this, great work is being done by the army and the NDRF in rescuing people. They do it every time, and they are showing once again why we trust the army so much. Rohini, our correspondent, has gone on one of those missions. Let's just see what she has found out.
We're on board INS Shakti, and you can see that the basic supplies here are being unloaded. This also includes water, fresh drinking water. It also includes medical supplies and food that will be taken to those areas which are the worst affected, and people have been saying they've not been receiving food or water for a long time. Here the Navy is with full force. They will be now taking it on various trucks to various places. Apart from that, also there be, in case there are areas that are heavily waterlogged, still the Gemini boats will be deployed, and those boats will also carry relief and rescue in those areas again, which we've seen in terms of how Velachery continues to be inundated, Cholingnolu, certain areas, and Ramapuram near Porur still continues, Koturpuram still completely inundated in water. These will be the areas that will be their prime focus, and also places like Toraipakam, wherever the water has still not receded. And they're only hoping that this is just one of the many kind of relief material that has come here into Chennai. There's another ship also that has come, INS Sayadri, along with INS Airavat. These three ships of the Indian Navy will be conducting relief and rescue operations here in Chennai. With cameraman Madhu, Rohini Swami on board INS Shakti for India Today.
Okay, we're getting reports, of course, from across this city. This has been our major focus and will continue to remain so. I said it, and I've said it in a blog, a major lapse on part of the national media. When the first rains took place in early November in Chennai, we should have read the warning signals. We didn't spend enough time on covering the story. We've woken up, hopefully not too late. We're getting more callers, more messages coming in on Chennai. We're connecting Chennai to the rest of the country. But I want to come to you, T.S. Sudhir, because you've been going on a rescue boat. Now, the rescue operations itself, how successful have they been to ensure those in waterlogged areas have been taken to safer parts? You went on one of them, and tell us what you saw.
Well, this particular rescue operation was being spearheaded by the NDRF in the Kuturpuram area. Now, I would say only about 40 to 50% successful, because about half of them do not want to actually leave their homes, because they are on the second and third floor. The water hasn't reached that level, though it had reached up to first floor level, and those people were persuaded to leave their homes and can get to a relief center. But those who are on the second and third floor only expect that the food package should be sent to them. They should be given drinking water. So that's a big problem for the NDRF team, because they have to rescue the people, and those who are still left behind have to continuously provide them with these kind of essential commodities like milk and water and food packets. I met one youth who said that his grandparents stay on the third floor. They do not want to leave their house, but he was going out repeatedly to get milk and sugar and their medicine. So that's the kind of situation which is there in many low-lying areas. The NDRF not able to persuade everyone to leave, but they would think that when suddenly the heavens open up and there is heavy rainfall, then there is sudden panic and they want to be rescued. So that's what they are grappling with. So they are there 24/7 to take out anyone by boat who wants to get out.
Okay, so that's one concern, but let me get in more callers. I'm joined by another. Yes? Shailesh from Chennai. You're in Chennai. Shailesh, what's your concern?
Say, today morning,
yes,
I went to the Avid booth.
Yes.
I am having a monthly card.
Yes.
That is a milk supplier. He is selling it out on the black.
Okay, that's
so I am concerned about that. I am requesting you to give this notice to the Avid authorities.
Yes.
the person who is distributing the milk should not sell it in black.
I am also told that people are charging huge exorbitant amounts. Private airlines, and I hope you are listening, private airlines, some of them are charging exorbitant amounts for people who want to travel to Bangalore in an effort then to take a car journey to try and connect with their relatives in Chennai. Now, you cannot use an emergency to make these kinds of, clearly windfall profits that you are. There's black money on the street that is being made, as is black marketing which is going on the street. I'm told even train tickets are to places in and around Chennai. Prices are being doubled by private buses. Sudhir, is that a big problem at the moment?
Yes, a big problem. Bus tickets have been going at about 4 to 5 times the usual rate. For instance, a bus ticket to Bangalore or Coimbatore from Chennai would cost about 500 rupees. Last night at Coimbatore bus terminal, it was selling for at least 2,000 to 2,300 rupees. So that's a major concern. The gentleman who just made the point about milk supply being given in black, being charged more, is absolutely true. It is a fact in many areas that milk is being sold for more than double, triple the amount. Same goes for vegetables, which goes for about 100 to 150 rupees per kg for tomatoes. So the prices have shot up, vegetables in this particular case, because the supply has not come from other cities like Bengaluru. But yes, it is a fact that people are also are overcharging. You talk about the spirit of Chennai, but this is also the other side of Chennai, of the same city.
That's right. So the spirit of Chennai, along with those who are using this opportunity to perhaps make windfall profits, and private airlines have to be put on watch, on notice in a way. Also private telecom companies, get your act together, guys. Clearly in this age of telecommunication and the digital age, the fact is people are finding it difficult to communicate with their relatives. And as T.S. Sudhir pointed out, when the cyclone struck Visakhapatnam, that's when the Chandrababu Naidu government at least got that part of its act together, particularly with cell towers. That hasn't happened in the case of Chennai. So there are, yes, one more caller. Your name, sir?
This is Satish from Delhi.
Yes, Satish.
I just wanted to find out my sister where they are living at Vokkiyam Thoraipakkam.
Give her exact address so that the commissioner's office, which is watching this program, can take it down.
Yeah, her name is Vimala.
Yes.
Number 1, Elegant Flats.
Number 1, Elegant Flats.
Balamurugan Garden.
Balamurugan Garden.
Vokkiyam Thoraipakkam.
Yes.
OMR, Chennai.
Can you just repeat the last bit?
Old Mahabalipuram Road.
Okay, Old Mahabalipuram Road, Chennai. Okay.
Thoraipakkam, Chennai.
Okay, so we hope that that message, along with all the messages that you've been sending us through this evening, are taken by the Commissioner's office. As I said right through this program, this is a real national emergency. There's one which is building up in Delhi with pollution. There's another one which has struck us with those horrific pictures that have been making the screens over the last few days. Chennai clearly is a city which is still battling the rains, and the troubling news is that the rains haven't entirely stopped. Now, amidst all this, amidst all the despair, as always, there are stories of hope, and it's our image of the day. It is a heartwarming picture of life triumphing amidst despair. A few days old infant being rescued by a group of soldiers of the Indian Army, safely snugged in their reassuring hands. Sometimes you wonder, what would this country do without army in times of crisis? This is when you remember the men who we often otherwise tend to forget. Thank you to the Indian Army and to all those who've been helping Chennai in their hour of need. This is our image at the moment, that little girl being rescued by the army. Good night. Goodbye.
And those are pictures of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This is an Indian Air Force Boeing 737. Now the Prime Minister will be briefed.
Hello everybody. So I think most of you in the crowd are in schools now. So you've probably started to think about which college you want to choose, where you want to go to. And we're here to at least make sure you put Amrita in that list.